I was connecting with people before also, right? Globalization. I mean, before the internet also people were traveling, right? America was created out of all immigrants, so it was global. Networking. Okay. Right. So information got digitalized, but very importantly, now there was no friction and no cost to send information. It was almost instantaneous and almost had no marginal cost. Right? You had to put fiber, you had to have a good LAN network, a good internet network, etc. Think about me much more than what is happening in the nature itself. I was a little less worried about thunderstorms. I was a little less worried about, oh my God, it's going to flood because the design is great. But now I was much more worried about what my fellow human being is doing. Right? Now let's come to internet. Right? So obviously with metaverse, we talk about Web-3. Web 1.0, for a lot of you I understand are from the technology background, are doing engineering or are science students. What was the main technology change in Web 1.0 or the beginning of the internet? What is so revolutionary about the internet? Connectivity, but I was connecting with people before also, right? Globalization. I mean, before the internet also people were traveling, right? America was created out of all immigrants, so it was global. Networking. Okay.
Information was digitalized.
Right. So information got digitalized, but very importantly, now there was no friction and no cost to send information. It was almost instantaneous and almost had no marginal cost. Right? You had to put fiber, you had to have a good LAN network, a good internet network, etc. But it was quick, right? So before I had to write and mail to people, right? It would take so much effort for me to first write it. Typing is still a lot of effort, but now you have a lot of voice dictate. But it took so long, right? I had to put it in the envelope, I put it in the post office, it'll go, it'll take so much time. Then that person will read, they will think about responding, they will respond, then it'll come back to me. Maybe a month took in which you had one conversation with that person, whether that's trade, commerce, or personal, right? With the internet, information exchange was almost instantaneous and almost no marginal cost. So once you had laid the optic fiber, every additional GB of data you send on the internet almost costs you nothing, right? What was the entertainment source? So social media came in Web 2.0, but the entertainment source started becoming streaming. I needed to go to the websites to see stuff. So Mark Cuban, who is a very famous shark, his company was actually a sports streaming company which he sold for, I think, $5 or $5.5 billion in 1999, right? At that time, he sold the company for that value. So again, the same thing. We are watching things socially, but now I can actually do it at the comfort of my home, right? What I was doing in my hunting mode, where I had to meet the 20 people I'm around, and then in the agriculture mode where there were 250, 500 people, to in the city mode where there were still festivals. Now I had a choice. Cities were still doing a lot of festivals. There was still a lot of offline activity. But now, because it's so instantaneous, I can sit at my home and I could actually mail people, right? Instead of 1 month to have one conversation, it probably took 1 hour to have one conversation. I could watch the videos of somebody streaming, watch a great game, etc. What was the design here? What changed in the design for Web 1.0? So the design was actually web pages, right? So how you can actually find that information, how you can actually index this information, like a library where you have an index card to see where can I go and find that information. That's exactly what Google did. So Google was a new design change thanks to new technology for what library was always doing for hundreds of years, right? So their change was actually applying this design to do it. Web 2.0, which is social media, what was the technology change now? Interactivity, right? So of course you could send information before, But now it's completely instantaneous at that same time, real time, right? In WhatsApp, if I'm chatting with you, I can see Anshul is typing, right? And I'm waiting, I get the message, I change. Someone puts a post, I like it instantaneously. Tons of people are actually connecting and giving their comments. I can know about anyone doing whatever all throughout the world. It's just like, now instead of just being connected with the people in my city, the Web 1.0 helped me connect with maybe 1 million people. Now I could literally connect with 4.5 billion people who are social media users, right, on a monthly basis. So suddenly now the design changed and I can now connect with 4.5 billion people all in one go. So that was the major design change, right? TikTok did a design change, upload your video and actually see what people are doing. Algorithms started coming that you don't even have to make an effort to follow people. The algorithm is going to tell you actually what content you should like, what is actually interesting for you, etc. When you come to Amazon, you may not even know that you want to buy a tea, but Amazon will say, based on your past buying experience, when you bought tea last, I think you actually need to buy a tea. Everything is becoming even easier and easier. What was the source of entertainment now? Or what is the source of entertainment today? So all of you are doing what? Social media, right? So everything is now becoming, thanks to technology, infotainment, right? If you want to learn about finance, Akshay Srivastava, he's a dear friend. He is a finance influencer. He talks about how to invest in stocks, but has to have a little bit of entertainment. When Praful is talking about startup, has to have a little bit of entertainment. So entertainment and utility and education started commingling. And why is entertainment so important? Because it's fun, right? And we have always wanted to do things which were fun, right? And now everything, every place, whether that's finance, education, engineering, the element of fun is creeping in everything that we do, right? Now let's come to Web 3.0. For those of you who have read about crypto or understand about blockchain, what is the technology change?
Decentralization.
What does that mean? Decentralization.
Shifting of power from one source to all of that are connected to that network. Basically, not concentration of power in a single.
So that's a consequence. But what is the technology that has actually come up today that enables it?
Blockchain.
Okay, so blockchain. What is the blockchain? So before, even from the previous times of cities, as we started designing ecosystems, right? We had to design cities, governments came in, we had to say that, who are you? We have to keep a record because we have to know who you are, we have to calculate population, we have to make sure that we know that this is your land, no one else takes this land, we have to know that XYZ is the son and daughter of this person because that gives you some legal rights. So everything was being done by authorities. And that did not change, right? Whether we went to Web 1.0 or Web 2.0, the collection of data, the verification of any data digitally was being done by central authorities, right? What blockchain now enables is that anyone, what you're talking about as a consequence, anyone can now verify that data, right? Like if I want to say that, look, I don't know, I want to make sure that someone here is saying that they are the daughter of XYZ. Now, how can I verify that, right? I'll have to ask for an Aadhaar. But now I can actually go on the internet and say, you know what, are they that, right? Without going to a central authority. What is the use of that? The use of that is how that gentleman was saying, there is no centralization of power now. Now everything becomes decentralized thanks to the blockchain, so everyone can participate. Like we were talking about in the previous talk, that startups and entrepreneur life is a great leveler. The blockchain has now become a great leveler because information which has become power, because we are consuming and creating so much of it, is now in the hands of everyone or no one. It is not in the hands of only a few people like Google, Facebook, etc. Right? Before I come to the environment, what is the design here? Nature. Okay. The design is actually what people are calling the view of the metaverse, right? So why is the metaverse really important? I mean, does it really matter that instead of me being physically present here, your all avatars were actually sitting in a virtual auditorium listening to my virtual avatar? Can't we already do that today? I mean, if this TEDx talk was actually, I don't know if it is being live streamed, But if it was live streamed, you could have all been sitting in your room and actually listening to it at the convenience of your room, right? So what is that so great about my avatar standing here, all your avatars sitting on this, on virtual chairs in front of you, having a virtual water, and maybe out of habit you're saying, okay, I'll do 20 minutes, I'll have some virtual water. What is great about that? More real than the video? I mean, in the video you're seeing the real me, right? My avatar at best can look exactly like me. And your avatar can at best look exactly like you, and the chair can look exactly like the chair. How is it better? Okay, so I think I agree with you. It's definitely the right track. So the problem that we have had with Web-1 and Web-2 has been that you can communicate information, but you cannot communicate emotions, right? So that's why within chat we have developed emojis. That's why GIFs have become big. That's why people send each other videos. That's why Snapchat, which is actually with a lot of augmented reality things, is actually very, very popular with youth. I do not know how many of you are Snapchat users. Okay, so the real difference has actually been how to communicate emotions, right? Because words, like when I speak something, if I speak in a monologue or a monotone, the words will go to you, but you will not understand what am I emphasizing, what am I de-emphasizing, am I excited about something, I'm bored about something. All these emotions can get lost in words. So words, which is what we were doing in Web 1.0, was good. We could also get some photos, but we started interacting with photos with Instagram. We started interacting with video with TikTok and Instagram Reels. Now actually if I want to have a one-to-one WhatsApp chat conversation and express emotions, it'll be a lot better in the metaverse. So the design of the metaverse is really not about, oh, Anshul's virtual avatar is here, all your virtual avatars are here, and we are going to have this conversation, because that can obviously already happen in the video itself. The beauty is that now you can actually have a lot more expression, right? Now all of you sitting here, maybe someone is very bored and they want to sleep off. I can see a few of you already doing that. Or someone is very excited and you want to jump on your seat saying, this is great, right? In the real life, there are a lot of norms, right? There are a lot of physical constraints, right? Maybe you are really excited and you want to jump to the roof. You can't physically do that. Maybe you want to, be very excited and burst a firecracker to celebrate this event. Can't do that. Authorities won't allow you. It will be very, unsafe as well. But in the metaverse, there is no physical constraint, right? If I play a game, I can die as many times as I want, right? Like Fortnite and PUBG, the reason they are very popular, even though the avatars look so human-like, because it's not fantasy, right? But the fantasy part there is, and I'm a soldier, right? I came and there are 100 people, we are playing in teams of 4. In my real life, there is no way that I have that opportunity, right? But now I'm living that fantasy life, and if I die, it's okay, right? Suddenly I can leap from one building to the other, like Neo in Matrix, right? I'm able to do that, no physical constraint. So when we come to the design that I can actually start expressing my emotions in a world which has no physical constraint, this is just going to boom, right? What is the entertainment now? So in Web 2, everyone agreed it's social media. Almost all of you are using Snapchat. What will be the source of entertainment in the metaverse? So everything, right? Why everything? Because as we have expanded technology, we have kept the part that we are socializing with each other. We are singing songs, there is music. We are actually watching movies as technology evolved. Now I can do anything. If I want to watch movies with 5 of my buddies who are in different places, or even in the next door room, if some of you are living in the hostel, I can do that. If I want to play a game, someone said, I can do that. If I want to just go and have a conversation with outrageous amount of ways for me to express emotion, I can do that. If I want to go on to a dating app where I want to talk to the other person, I can do that, right? Can I get to still see the videos and pictures which might be very relevant for dating because you want to see something which is more real life? Absolutely. The technology is just becoming a superset, right? Will it still have the elements of video, text, and photos? Absolutely. But it will have so many more elements, right? Now everything that we do will start becoming more and more fun. So every time you go back and think about how many times have you used emojis? How many times have you used GIFs? Why did we have to have emojis and GIFs? It was because emotions were not being able to communicate, right? Why did I actually choose to tell you with technology, entertainment, and design? One, because I thought it was an interesting challenge for me to think about that because I just got to know it and I love sort of challenges and complex part. But more importantly, the part I'm trying to show to you by taking you through this history is why I believe that these three changes of new technology with a new design, which gives us a new way to entertain ourselves and actually do business, means that this is bound to be the next evolution of the internet and how we actually communicate with each other. And the way we communicate with each other is also the way we actually do business with each other, right? So business and commerce is actually a subset part of human interactions. I am from a finance background and I always, from a psychology of money perspective, money is a way for us to communicate and exchange value. It is not something separate than what human beings are doing, right? So as the metaverse is going to grow because of the new technology, new design, and engulf everything that we are doing for entertainment and communication, all business naturally will also move to the metaverse, and like we are doing a lot of business on the digital fronts, right? We will start doing all of that business on the metaverse itself. Okay, great. Thank you everybody, and I hope you like the talk.
Thank you, sir, for assimilating the old conventions into new innovations and inventions. Thank you so much, sir, for bringing the